Radiant team ban.
Whoops. Okay, so microphone is muted on stream. So let's do a very quick introduction. We're back for the AMD2PL Premier League. This is the semifinals. This is game 2 of best of 3 set. It's between InsidiousIdol and Gameware. I am Baseskip, and that's it as far as intros go. I was just talking about interesting drafts from... I was talking about an interesting draft from InsidiousIdol last game, and sort of what happened against Gameware. So that, for those of you on the stream, that's sort of where we are at the moment. I'm sorry about my muted mic. That's a little bit awkward for me. It is getting a little bit later, and I am getting tired, and I haven't past midnight as much as I used to. So sorry about that one, guys. But we're gonna have a Lone Druid ban thrown out by InsidiousIdol, and Gameware gonna choose to ban out the Magnus. Very carefully considering their next ban right now. There is a Batrider, there is a Nyx, there is a Keeper of the Light, there is a Darkseer, there's a Nyx. And there are a ton of heroes that are worth a ban, but Nyx is going to be the choice here from Gameware. And I guess the lingering question is, InsidiousIdol, are you willing to pass back the Batrider to be able to get your hands on something else? And I think the answer is going to be no, unless Gameware are prolific players of Wisp, which InsidiousIdol did choose to ban out last game. So I guess it comes down to a question of whether or not they are going to ban for hero power level, or whether or not they're going to ban for player power level, since some players are definitely very, very strong on particular heroes, and even Wisp can be worth that ban. And all of these questions, I think, running through InsidiousIdol's team right now, as well as we dig into our first little bit of reserve time for the Dire squad with this pickup. And of all heroes, they are going to choose to ban Slug. So this, I'm not 100% sure if this is a ban or if this is just effectively a blank to try and push something else through that they want without wasting any reserve time. So Idol going to choose to go for the ban on Slug, not a hero that we see a lot of in competitive Dota. And Batrider is going to be the pickup from Gameware, and InsidiousIdol going to respond with, again, this very kind of defensive support pairing, but it worked out fantastically for them in their best of one just earlier today. So Gameware, they're going to immediately respond. They pick themselves up a Nyx, and InsidiousIdol, I really wonder where they're going to find their responses to this Lifestealer now. The Shadow Demon is always great to have, great at kiting Nyx around, but by himself, not necessarily everything that you want. Shadow Demon is also obviously quite good against Batrider. If you can get a nice disruption off on him, or if you can get a nice disruption off on the person that he's targeting, then you can sort of counter-initiate a little bit. And yep, Fizzy, I am still at it. Don't be surprised. It's long casting sessions I'm no stranger to, and it's sort of what you gotta do. And I love it. This is my favorite way to watch Dota. I love talking about it. I love analyzing Dota, whether or not you think the quality of my analysis is that great. But this is how I love to watch Dota. I love the game. I love casting it, and so here I am. This is my Friday night, and I'm really enjoying it. So I hope you guys are too. And again, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys have feedback for me, send me a message on Steam, on Stream Chat. Send me an email. It'd be great to hear from you. And I'm on Reddit. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook as well. That would make my day. It really would. So Gameware, they're gonna pick themselves up a Lina. They've got a bit of a red strat going on right now, and a nice support to have with the Lifestealer. We don't often see the Lina without Shadow Demon or Rubik, but given that we have set up from the Nyx right now, none too surprising from Gameware, and Lina will be able to connect those stuns, hopefully without too much trouble. So InsidiousIdol, they need to pick someone really high impact right now who responds fairly well to what we've already got picked up by Gameware. I feel like they want a little bit more lockdown for the Nyx. I would be none too surprised to see a Beastmaster at some point in this game, though he does fit better into pushing strategies, which might not necessarily what they want to be doing, because the problem is when you push into a Batrider, is that he's behind his tower, he jumps out, he grabs you, he pulls you back to the tower, you're now fighting underneath the enemy's tower, and you've already lost half the health on one of your most important heroes, or potentially all of their health. Batrider makes pushing into him a nightmare, unless you have some way to just jump on him before he jumps on you. Or counter jump on him when he tries to jump on you. So in InsidiousIdol, they're going to go for a Queen of Pain here, a mid that can stand up to the Batrider as well, and a consideration that Idol would have had to have been making with this last pickup. The third pick needed to be big impact, and I think look no further than the Queen of Pain. So Clockwork and Nature's Prophet are going to be the bans here from Gameware, just removing some very solid offlaners, while Medusa and Windrunner are going to be the bans from Idol. So Medusa, not a hero that we would really expect to see too much of, and Drow Ranger as well. Idol, I think, just trying to keep the ball in Gameware's court and maybe trying to get them to slip up, leave something in the pool that Idol are looking for, perhaps. But it's just going to be a solid trio of offlaners banned by Gameware right now. And with this, hopefully going to be able to take full advantage of the map. They could jungle their Nakes, frankly, if they're feeling exceptionally greedy. Or they could be looking towards an aggressive trialing as well.
10 seconds remaining.
The world is really their oyster at the moment, and with a strong solo like Batrider, you've got the flexibility to be able to do other things in your other lanes. So Gameware digging a little bit further into this reserve time right now. They're looking for support, and they are looking for another solo, an offlaner, a jungler, someone that fits effectively. And they're gonna dig and find themselves a Keeper of the Light. So nice pushing tool. Nice counter pushing tool. This might lead them into someone a little bit farmier as their 5th pick. Although Keeper of Light, no slacker when it comes to tri-lane situations either. And InsidiousIdol going to have to consider their options here as far as carries are concerned. There is still a Gyrocopter in the pool, and the carry pool is actually pretty wide open right now, with hardly any bans really thrown out by either side, aside from that lone druid, more or less. So whatever they want, they should be able to get their hands on it right now, unless it was the Nakes, but I don't know if they were expecting to get that back. Again, I really think this combination of Shadow Demon and Rubik is kind of weird to draft so early, but who am I to complain? InsidiousIdol have been pulling it off to great success, and hopefully that trend will continue. Sorry guys, just having a very quick sip of water there. Again, I haven't been doing as much regular casting as I would like, so I'm not as in practice as I would normally be. So, Idol, maybe a bit of debate as far as lanes are concerned. Again, we saw people running every which way last game. Lanes were quite difficult to get a lock on. And, yeah, just overall not a... it was an interesting time for both teams in the laning phase, and we got a bit of... Nobody got great farm, everybody kind of got okay farm, and then it really came down to the supports getting things done. And InsidiousIdol, we saw this just a little while ago, but they're going to go right back for the Clinks, and TA going to be picked up by Gameware. So I talked about the Keeper of Light maybe leading into someone a little bit farmier, a little bit more semi-carry-ish as that last pick, but oh, InsidiousIdol, they know what's up with TA, and they are going to pick themselves up an axe. If there was early game aggression, I think it is embodied by this very stout red man. And if there's anyone who can ruin TA's day, it is definitely an axe. When that battle hunger comes knocking, TA just doesn't have a fantastic time. So, yeah, we'll see how this game plays out, but we are going to get straight into it. So welcome everybody to the game. Over on InsidiousIdol, we have Zred playing the Shadow Demon. We have Insidious C playing the Queen of Pain. Sox is going to be on Axe. We've got Sojiro playing the Rubik, but I think I'm just going to continue calling him Rubik. And Monkey D. Dynamis. Again, I'm sorry about butchering the pronunciation on people's names here. He's going to be playing Clinks Bone Fletcher, Clinks Eastwood, whatever you want to call him. He is a skeleton, and he is pretty cool, I have to say. We've got a bit of a bug, so looks like we're going to have a reconnect. And over on Gameware, we have Yangmi playing the Nakes. We're going to have Superhue playing the Batrider. Zoro is going to be on the Keeper of the Light. Lena is going to be played by Star Ruby, and that's going to leave Templar Assassin, who's going to be in the very capable hands of Kim Nan. And again, pronunciation, I am ever so sorry. If anyone from these teams, or who is very closely associated with these teams, watches these VODs, please correct me on my pronunciation, just in case I ever have to cast these guys again. And I would love to cast these guys again, because this has been some really good Dota so far. So Yanmei's going to reconnect. Hopefully very cool and calm and collected. He did take a bit of a thrashing last game on the Queen of Pain. And a hero that you normally expect to be able to get quite a bit done on. Instead, got, killed a whole bunch, which was not so much fun. Got Laguna Bladed a whole bunch of times. Got Blink Lifted and all sorts of shenanigans. So, yeah, just waiting around for this game to start. We don't have any starting items to talk about, really. Though we might be able to get a little bit of analysis running on the side of InsidiousIdol. So, Axe looks like they're just going to be running perhaps a tri-lane. Clinks is going to be soloing top. Has he been pulled some regen? He has not. That's his regen at the moment. Though we might see a little bit of pooling going on as we move forward. Insidious C has been pulled some sentries so that he can deal with the Templar Assassin on mid. I was really hoping to see a solo mid Axe played against the Templar Assassin, because solo mid Axe makes TA very, very sad. But there was definitely no guarantee that TA was going to be mid with a Batrider. So I like the choice from Insidious C. Gameware could still try and next level this. Well, they could have, had the lanes not been as obvious as they are, but they could have tried to send the Batrider mid, and then Insidious C would be sitting there with a sentry wards, but no magic stick, and that. So I guess the point that I'm trying to get at here is InsidiousIdol. They make a call, and the call is 100% correct. They pull sentries on the Queen of Pain. They are expecting to have the Templar Assassin mid, and that has paid off for them 100%. This is a great setup for the Queen of Pain, and with this should be fine to get off to a good start on the middle lane. As far as bot is concerned, we've got a lot of damage over time. Not a whole lot of burst, but the disruption is going to be great setup for Axe once he gets 1 point in Berserker's Call, which can be early, it can be late. It's going to depend. And we've got a bit of laughing going on. It's still kind of weird that you can queue up a laugh. If you type lol in allies chat or all chat during a pause, then all of those queues go in. I guess go on the stack, for programmers or Magic players or anything like that, and then after that they all get played out. So, sorry about that. Okay, this is going to be distracting. From now on, this will be distracting for anyone that I pointed out from. But sorry that I haven't blocked this out properly, so that the AMD logo isn't great. But hopefully that's okay. Hopefully that doesn't distract too many of you. I'll hopefully fix that in between games, or at least by tomorrow. For anyone wondering, I can actually give you guys the pings of all the players. We can have a very quick look. Quite a few people connected at the moment. But it looks like the majority of the players are okay. Gameware actually a little bit laggy right now. All sitting over 200 ping. And looks like having a couple of camera problems. I can't select player perspective because I'm actually in the game. So I would verify that, but apparently I can't. It might be a bug related to the swap, or perhaps, okay, mouse problems. So we're just going to have a continued pause as we try and sort this one out. But let's talk about these matchups. We talked about the mid matchup. We talked about how they predicted that, and we talked about how that's hopefully going to go well. And yeah, he is 100% right. If you are the team that pauses, you are no longer allowed to move the camera to prevent things like, okay, puppy pause is a mean way to put it, but if I say puppy pause and try and say that 10 times fast, everybody knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's the situations that they're trying to avoid. People pausing so that they can take advantage of information that they don't have already. But yeah. Oh, who paused? We've got a little bit of snarkiness going back and forth between these two teams. But hopefully we'll be able to get underway fairly soon. And yeah, looks like we're just going to have an attempt at restarting Steam. I'm not sure if there's any reason to really get an AP remake here. Unless, okay, this would be really suspicious. If Gameware were like, oh, we can't... if Gameware were like, oh, we can't move our camera, can we have a remake, please? And then in the next game, Gameware put Bat mid and they send TA to another lane. So that she doesn't have to deal with those senders. It would be, some might say, insidious, I guess. But bad jokes aside, that would be a bit weird. I find it strange that the claim is that he can't move his camera, given that he already moved outside of the base. So his mouse is definitely working. He can definitely click on the minimap, and he can definitely move outside the base. That is guaranteed. He can even buy items, so his mouse is capable of moving. But whether or not his camera is capable of moving is a completely different story entirely. But yeah, we'll hopefully get this one sorted out, and we'll be able to get underway with this game for you guys shortly. What else do I have to talk about? The Cybergamer Dota 2 Weekend Cup is coming up soon. It's coming up next weekend. That's the 10th and 11th of May. And I'm going to be casting for that. I'm going to be over on the Cybergamer stream as opposed to my own stream. So if you guys want to check that out, I'd love to have you along for the ride. I'd love to see you there. I'll be casting the whole weekend. Doing my best to clean out my schedule at the moment so I don't have too much to do. And now we're going to try... He's moving around the base. He's moving. And now he's going to buy his set of mid items again. And I could have sworn we saw him with that bottle rush already sort of in this position. But I guess he managed to get back within the cell time. Or we had a hero swap or something like that. Doesn't really seem to be the case though. Yeah, a little bit strange. And a couple of ping issues apparently. I'll just have one more quick check on the ping for you guys. So, Insidious are at a slight ping advantage at the moment. Undeniably so. They're all sitting around at 90, while Gameware are all over 200 with only Youngmi sitting at about 150, which is very playable. 200 is quite playable as well. They go for a smoke. They're going to try and head up onto the high ground, but oh, Kemp, they're waiting. They get the stacks down. They get the stun. They get the nuke. They get the defensive disruption, but I don't think it buys Axe that much space. They get the lift. Can he walk himself out? They guard the invis, but I think they could have given that one to Axe Z-Red. However, invis goes to the body block. The stun is going to connect, and Axe will die. Were there sentries? There were, so I think Gameware we're going to be able to pick up that kill. All the same, despite Axe picking up the invis rune or not. So good anticipation from them. So Batride is going to looks like potentially making his way through the jungle, and Rubik a little bit caught out. Templar Assassin's going to come up and put some pain on him, but Youngmi actually now in trouble, and just going to back themselves out as the swarm of Gameware heroes encroaches. And Z-Red! These supports on InsidiousIdol are just crazy today. Star Ruby fights Sojiro a little bit. He manages to push him back, and Kim is just going to get to farming him bot. He's not going to have any of this shenanigans that's going on in the jungle. Interestingly, well, I am just going for a fairly standard board placement right now. There are, again, still sentries up on Gameware. They can quite easily find this one just by warding back here behind the tree, and then cutting down these trees with a tango, or potentially using the light strike array as well. So this shouldn't stay blocked for too long once they cotton on to what is happening. Looks like Downme, after after a little bit of a tough start, he's been pulled some tangos, has his bottle up now. Insidious still has those sentries, so no meld dodges for Yanmi, but he suspects what is going on, and he is just not picking up meld and going straight for a fraction. So he's not even going to try and dodge. He saw the sentries. Nice adjustment. He's just going to be tanking out the stings as best he can, not trying for anything too sneaky. So I really like the presence of mind from Yanmi to check the opponent's inventory, make a decision based on whether or not there are sentries there. And while meld wouldn't be picked up so early, you do sometimes see it a little bit earlier than normal, just to try and dodge those shadow strikes. Sox does have a way out. He can tango straight through that tree. Z-Red in trouble, going to pop a defensive disruption, does manage to dodge out of the way of the stun, and the illuminate just perhaps. Kim in trouble, but just life-stealing up as suits his name, and Axe. He's juking, but he needs to find a way out. Gonna dodge the stun, still has a tango, turns around, gets the spin. Support's still causing some spins, but he's gonna drop, and that's 3 kills the lead so far for Gameware. InsidiousIdol not looking quite so calculated in their aggression at the moment. We've got a 2-minute rune spawning up. Insidious C gonna grab, we'll get his hands on that one, making his way back towards mid. The first sentry just about to despawn, so I'm going to try and, again, with a regen, go absolutely balls to the wall, throw out as much damage as he possibly can. And he tries to get out of range of the sentry, but I think not quite able to dodge that one there. So, Axe comes back into the lane, Insidious taking control a little bit, but Kim not really under threat. And meanwhile, Gameware are not actually successfully running some pulls. I think they've blocked their own camp as well with this ward. And this is not the D-ward spot. We get the ping going out, but I think that is out of range. And okay, Coddle, we get it. You're creepy, but voice lines. I gotta turn the volume down a little bit on those, I think. Anyway, hero interaction lines. I love them. Valve, keep making them, but Coddle is really creepy. So Lena's gonna come in to try and get this ward, but I don't think the sentry is in range, and they don't have another one. So this is just straight out the wrong D-ward location. Your D-ward should be here. It's just you D-ward the top of the camp by warding there. If it's in the bottom of the camp for whatever reason, you place it down here, and you D-ward both halves. It's more difficult on the Radiant than the Dire, because the Dire you just place a ward right here and you get rid of it. But warding lessons aside, that's just sloppy from Gameware. That shouldn't really happen. Frankly, they should have been able to get that D-ward off. And neither of the Dire wards are actually being touched at the moment, so that's a little bit unfortunate for them. But they are up a bunch of kills, so they're doing pretty well so far in the overall standings, and up about 750 in both gold and experience. There is a disruption, but it's going to be thrown out on the Lena, trying to prevent the follow-up. The nuke is going to connect. Stick charges, keeping Sojiro alive for now. I'm just going to call him Rubik. I'm too worried about butchering the pronunciation on his name, or whatever alias he wants to go by, so I'm just going to call him Rubik, and I guess, apologize. And Star Ruby really wants this deny, but the Fade Ball is going to prevent it. And oh, the Battle Hunger, it's doing work. Is there going to be a spin? Nobody is hitting just yet. Star Ruby still juking, has tangos, has stick charges. Now tangoing, now juking. One more Light Strike Array. Sox is going to go down. Killing spree for Star Ruby. Rubik still wants this Fade Ball. He's going to get it, but at what cost? 5 for 1. 5 for 1 the overall exchange so far. But InsidiousIdol really just wanting to get on the board. Speaking of Insidious C on mid, double damage rune up for him. Really having a great time against the Templar Assassin. 17 for 7 up against 26 for 11. But really everything going Insidious's way. Got a regen, got himself a double damage, and he still has these sentries. So it's just a game of mitigating the situation for Yanmi at the moment. And Rubik looking to make something happen up at top. They do have a lot of burst damage potential. Monkey just needs to get out of that. Well, needs to just get himself out of those sticky napalm stacks, and now keep hitting. A couple more hits. And Rubik is hunting. He doesn't have a Fade Bolt, and Super is able to fly on the edge of the goddamn map and make his escape. It's a bit cheesy. It kind of works like that in Dota 1. So we're going to have to deal with it, and he is going to escape. Sunglasses, deal with it, firmly equipped as he heads back to heal up. But a nice rotation from Rubik, and definitely the right idea, helping to keep, well, helping to put Clinks on top of this top lane. Meanwhile, at bot, it does force them into a slightly more defensive position. And Axe, a hero that you don't want the game to stall on you. And I mean, the game hasn't even stalled, it just didn't get off to a great start, especially with that first blood. Not the situation that they wanted on this tri lane at bot. And we're just expecting that aggression to pay off. Didn't really. Insidious C, now level 6, he's got the Sonic Wave, and if there was ever a tri lane breaker, it is this Queen of Pain. But Gameware, defensive positions in the trees. Lifestealer, the front man, he's still got Infest, so he's not too worried. Illuminate's going to try and make a bit of space. They've only got Shadow Poison Vision up on 1, but here comes the damage, and there's the Rage. Can they survive? Disruption actually thrown out. Insidious C, good defense on him. Open wound still up. In comes on me. They just need one more right click. Insidious C, why can he blink away? No right click to finish him up, and that Dragon Slave isn't going to kill him either. Axe, however, the unfortunate target, going to throw out as much damage as he possibly can. But that's going to be it. And hello to Ryan, editor in chat. Shoutouts to you. How are you, my friend? I'm doing well. Intercepting the question, I guess. And how you are intercepting what I'm saying, I'm not sure, but welcome home. Hope you had a nice day. So, Gameware, looking pretty good for them. Still up 5 kills, probably up only about 250 experience, however, and about 750 gold. So, II's just with the farm that they're getting in their 2 solo lanes, staying on top of things. Monkey, it's going to be a straight Orchid rush for him this game, and the Orchid going to be invaluable in dealing with the Lifestealer. It's absolutely fantastic. Being able to silence that rage is just great. Nakes who can't rage, who can't infest, is absolutely a sitting duck. So we'll see what kind of build Kim's going to go in this game to try and mitigate that, or whether it's just going to be a question of, okay, I'm going to 5-man and let's just not die to Clinton's trying to pick me off solo. So Star will be trying to get a bit of farm done. Bot Zoro just wandering his way around the map. Again, we're being a little bit more diligent in terms of the warding situation right now, getting some fresh wards up right past the 6-minute mark so that they can continue to have vision. One thing that people often do when you have a TA is that they continue to place wards that give you vision over the runes when there are actually wards that might be a little bit better that don't give vision of the runes, but you have traps on the runes, so you don't really need wards that are exactly giving you vision on the runes. That's my opinion as a support player when you've got a TA on your team. But I mean, this is by no stretch of the imagination a bad ward, but it could also just be over here and could be giving a little bit more vision of TPs in onto the mid lane, which there isn't any of right now. And I mean, the vision over here that this ward is providing is, you know, a little bit different from what it would be over here, but I feel like it's slightly more useful unless you're extremely worried about ganks coming in from this angle, which they very well could be. So that's my take. Take it from what you will. And yeah, Ryan, I guess you are unable to stream my glorious 720p plus. So feel free to jump into the TV. The mic is on, and everybody is welcome. Though it is obviously a $3 ticket to get in, so bit of an entrance fee there. But you get the rest of the tournament, guys. There's a lot of great teams invited and a lot of awesome Dota still coming up. And Super just jungling his way up right now. InsidiousIdol looking for Blooded Bot, and Kim the target, the blink, the scream will connect. And Sonic Wave still just sitting up her sleeve for the moment. Yeah, and me, Phase Boots picked up, not doing too badly. And we're getting past 10 minutes. I'm gonna switch it over to net worth just so you guys can get an idea of what's going on. And Monkey has a couple of CS from the jungle as well, so it's not necessarily the most accurate picture in the world. And I think net worth painted a little bit more accurately. And Rubik slipping around, looking on me. This was the angle that the ward was covering, but the smoke from Rubik just a little bit too good. There's the dust, there's the lift, in comes the axe, there's the call, and I think this is a recipe for dead TA. Ooh, the chop as well. Just, you know, insult to injury. I'm not sure if that culling blade was needed, but, you know, Socks, he wants himself a kill. He's got 4 deaths. He is 66% of his team's deaths, and I think he just wants to get one on the tally there. Z-Red, not really in the middle of no man's land. The tier 1 tower on top already taken. So II, despite the slow start, are starting to turn things around at least a little bit, and Clinks just waiting around for that Orchid at the moment, and it is finished. Hold that thought. It's not almost finished. It is finished, and Monkey from this point forward, looking to be all the killing machine that his little skeletal body can be. Supports come in on mid. Unfortunately, Keeper of the Light, just such an awful ganking support. So Gameware really just waiting around for the Batrider blink. That is what they are stalling for. And they've got great stalling tools as well. They've got the Coddle, they've got a good late game secured between Nakes and TA. And Zox in a bit of trouble on bot, gets the bonus armor popped off, but in comes more support. They get the lift, but now Rubik's in trouble. They've still got the drag. They're gonna choose to ensure the kill on Axe instead of trying to get greedy and get Rubik and get Axe. So nice little play from them. Perhaps a little bit conservative, but I think just gotta hold on to this lead, keep farming, and make sure that they can take this into the late game. And looks like they're going to be able to grab themselves a tier 1 tower as well. InsidiousIdol does have a haste, however, and looks like he's just... where are his eyes pointed? Heading down towards bot. And Monkey D now hunting with this Orchid. They're going to be able to spot Kim. And I think this is going to be a very straightforward kill, but Kim suspects... Nope. Does he... Does he suspect what's going on? Looks like he does. He's going to phase boot his way all the way under the tower. Had he walked further, had he farmed this camp, that was a death sentence. So nicely done there, and Gameware just good overall map awareness, realizing that when the Queen of Pain and the Clinks are not on the map, something is going on, but looks like subtlety, not their strong suit. They're coming straight in, but the disruption saves him from the Orchid. That is really bad. Oh, Kim not going to be able to turn himself around. Now pops the Rage, still alive. This is not what they wanted. Monkey in trouble, but the Sonic Wave Quap actually drops behind the tower. 2 already dead. Socks trying to get out on the way, but Blink Dagger from Super, they get the stack down. More slows, more stun. Oh, Zoro gets dumped in. Keeper of the Light too squishy. Manly play from Axe, but I think it's going to be a little bit too little to really recover from that team fight. And really, that disruption with the Orchid was a very unfortunate start to that fight. And I mean, they potentially could have bursted down Kim Nam, but I feel like Queen of Pain blinked in behind the trees. I wasn't 100% on top of what was going on, but blinked in behind the trees, heard a Sonic Wave going off. She tried to make space, went down, and I think they really would have needed that Sonic Wave damage if they were going to be able to go after the Lifestealer. So that was either a last-minute reaction to the disruption going weird and jumping across to try and kill the supports, or that was the game plan from the start, which I think would have been a little bit weird since they really needed to burst down the Nakes in that fight. So, behind by 7 kills. It doesn't necessarily feel like it, but they are behind by 3k experience and 2k gold at the moment. And Insidious here just applying some pressure on top. Looks like it's going to be, again, a straight Hex Rush from him, and a nice pickup, going to be even more lockdown for the Nakes. Between a Clinks with an Orchid and a Queen of Pain with a Hex, I'm not sure if there's anything that you can't kill. So, Yeonmi farming his way towards a Blink, and I mean, Gameware, in comparison to last game, a lot more gold in their pockets, a lot more even in terms of the net worth, and just a lot more core items up. Got the Blink Dagger on Bat. He is hunting. He's got the Blink. He's going to be able to jump onto Insidious. He out pops Nakes, and that is a very straightforward kill. Monkey, not a whole lot that he can do except watch, and that's another kill going the way of Gameware. InsidiousIdol, they're pushing in aggressively, but this time it's not backed up by the kills. And it's actually just being backed up by TP support coming in all too often. Looks like Kim might go down here. The silence still there for a while. They get the call. Can they get the dunk? There's the Rage. He's still alive. The jump charge pops with the right clicks and going to finish him off in the end. However, on mid, Gameware are finding trades again. Game a little bit less lopsided than it was in game 1. And on mid, actually going for a drum as opposed to picking himself up a Blink Dagger or one of those bigger, more core items. So just looking to be the bigger threat right now. Star will be in a bit of trouble. There is a Culling Blade not used. Though it looks like Axe was going for that one. Insidious now chasing after Zoro. Still has that blinding light, ready to go. Yeonmi comes in, gets dusted up, however. And those refraction charges are chewing away. Sonic Wave thrown as well. Super in a bit of trouble. There's a Soul Catcher on him as well. Insidious now chasing. Right clicks going left, right, and center. Kim comes around looking for Sock. Looks like he's going to be able to find him. Super in a bit of trouble. Insidious still wants this kill. Has another Blink. Up onto the high ground. There's the Blink. And Scream finishes that one off. Monkey back behind the tower. Almost still a ways away from having that strafe back up. But just going to be able to go and grab himself a Death Pact. But again, not the menace that he was in the best of 1 earlier today. So Gameware doing a really good job of stalling this and just picking up farm. Got an armlet up on Nakes. He's the most farmed hero on the map right now. And Monkey, he's hunting, but the supports are doing a really good job of just sitting on top of each other and preventing Clinks from getting these solo pickoffs. And this is either fear or just very good awareness by Gameware. The supports are not going to be leaving the safety of a tower unless they can see themselves a Clinks. The ping squad on Yeonmi, but it's a tier 2 to TP2, and I don't know if anyone's actually going to come and try and help this one. However, there's no refraction charges up. Oh, the refraction gets refreshed. There was definitely a potential kill there, depending on how closely. Monkey was checking out the charges and whatnot. They get the dust. Down's gonna go into the meld. There's a silence, however, now running himself up. Support is actually coming from the low ground, back from the river, so it looks like TA is gonna be absolutely fine. Meanwhile, with the very brief diversion, the tier 1 on mid is going to drop. Insidious C solo pushing up on top, and Gameware going to back themselves off on mid, but again, they're not really being run ragged, and they're actually finding the overall better trades after pretty much every single point of contention in this game. So, what do InsidiousIdol need to do to sort of make this? I mean, their lineup is just balls to the wall aggression. They've got an axe, they've got a quap, they've got a clink. So they just want to kill people, and they want to kill them fast, and they want to kill them hard, and they want to kill them and then take towers, and they're doing okay, but it's just not working out great. In Gameware, not getting caught out. Just everybody TPs in whenever InsidiousIdol come in as 5, and I think, I mean, I said something about it down at bot, but subtlety not the name of the game for II right now, and I think that's what it needs to be. They need to be a little bit more subtle. Monkey pops a strafe. There's no backdoor protection on tier 1, so he's just going to be able to pick up some gold. Regardless, strafe's about to run out, but I think he's going to be able to get this one. Yeah, so good awareness by him, gets that tower down, and manages to encroach a little bit onto the Gameware territory. While everybody is on a mid, but in jumps Super and Sox now in trouble. He's going to be absolutely wiped out in a blaze of glory there. And Rubik just going to have to be happy with a steal and backing himself out. So still about an 8-kill lead, still exactly an 8-kill lead in favor of Gameware. 3k experience and 4k gold. Kim is farming away at top, still has that armlet, 2k gold in the bank. Insidious C, very slowly, well not that slowly, but gradually progressing his way towards that Hex, and supports now coming in. They're going to be looking for eggs. This is going to be difficult, however. They don't have any way to cancel a rage TP, and that might just be what Kim goes for, but there's a haste up on Star Ruby. They connect the stun. There is a Laguna Blade ready to go, but nice defensive disruption buys some space. In comes Star Ruby, throws at the Laguna Blade, but it's not actually enough to finish off Rubik. And after a bit of an anticlimactic engagement, everybody is going to be backing themselves out. And Rubik very lucky on the survival there. Especially given that he has no points in Null Field and doesn't really have that many stats aside from the +3 from his magic wand. So survival there was a straight matter of HP and just somehow being tanky enough on Rubik to take the Laguna Blade to the face. But Gameware, things are looking good. When your Keeper of the Light has a mech, you know things are looking pretty good. It's just, it's symptomatic of the game going well for them, I think is the core point here. Monkey is continuing to look for pickoffs, but Gameware just having absolutely none of it, and they're just going to jump straight onto him. There's a gem up on Super, and Monkey, not having enough time to check inventories, is just going to immediately go down. So Gameware showing that they are no strangers to Clinks, and that they know exactly what they are doing to deal with him. I mean, Monkey, he has a ton of farm. He's got his Orchid. This is normally the point in the game where Clinks is like, look, I have an Orchid. I'm going to murder you, and I'm going to murder you, and I'm going to murder you, and I'm going to murder your towers, and I'm going to murder everything. But Gameware just say, well, you have farm, but we're going to nullify that farm entirely and continue to just build up a pile of gold based on your corpse. So I think I need to try and find a different angle of attack here. But the problem is that their lineup isn't really that multifaceted. It's hit people and, again, kill them dead and then kill their towers dead. And, I mean, you can say that's a summary of the game of Dota overall, but their lineup is a very blunt instrument. And if it's used in the right way, then it's fantastic. But when you've got a round hole and a square peg, it's kind of hard to get things to work in a different way. I really don't want to see them. I mean, it could end up with them just bashing their head against the wall here. Insidious C, I called a Hex. It's actually going to be a Lincoln Sphere so that he can't be solo picked. Well, not solo picked off, but grabbed out by Bat. There aren't any long range spells that are going to be able to pop that Lincoln's. And there are actually very few spells that are going to be able to pop that Lincoln's overall. But there is a point up in Mana Leak. So that might be enough for Coddle and for them to be able to pick up these kills. We're going to have an Infest up on Super. It's going to be 5 making their way up towards top. They've got the gem. This is the perfect time to 5-man. They're going to get some flying vision, some broken flying vision, mind you. From Super, he's going to blink in, not going to be able to find anyone. They turn around, out pops Kim, they get the lift, TP support, now coming in, Illuminate flying in over the top as well, and Super still just trying to find some space, but Clinks comes into the tower, gets split up from his team. This fight is going disastrously, and now Sox in trouble, eats a Laguna Blade, wants the dunk, Star Ruby not quite low enough there, Sonic Wave pops, 1 dead on Gameware. Gem on the ground, going to be picked back up. Yanmi fighting his way out. InsidiousIdol still has the blink ready to go. Rubik with a stolen rage. But Gameware realized there's still a tower here, guys. We're not going to dive to tier 2. And Rubik deciding that he's not done just yet. And I think now is deciding that he is done. So wants to get a little bit more farm up right now. And oh, Nake sees him. This could be trouble. There's a rage on Rubik, but he doesn't have enough health to actually survive this for more than a couple seconds. This is a dead Rubik, I suspect. Agreed his undoing in the end, I think. Just wanted some creeps, thought that rage would be enough to save him, but even without that bash, I think that was going to be a fairly straightforward kill for Nyx. But the call is normally that Rubik thinks more people have TP'd out, though people didn't really appear in lanes too quickly. The problem was that there wasn't much vision going on, so their vision portions were all sort of near the middle of the map. TPs were going to be going back to tier 2s and base, so it wasn't a completely unreasonable assumption that he could have gone in and farmed that. Sox gets caught out again on top. Gameware have 5, and that is just non-stop from them. They're now up 13 kills, 7.5k experience, and 5k gold. It is very quickly looking like we're going to be heading towards game 3, but InsidiousIdol, I said they needed to find a different angle of attack, and the call is going to be, let's go rush. Let's just get something done. While Gameware are 5-manning up on top. Find a trade. Axe isn't really doing too much since he is most definitely dead. And I just want to try and finish this one up. It's taking them a very long time. And Monkey just lost that death pack damage, so it's taking a little bit longer as well. Needs to be careful about these bashes. Bash, bash, bash. Rubik comes into tank, and they should be able to finish this one off. And I think Gameware suspect what's going on, but they're a little bit too late. We've got a BKB up on Yanmi. I'm going to bring up the overall item panel for anyone who's interested as we continue to progress through. Got a Ghost Scepter up on Star Ruby, no solo pickoff potential anymore. 4 staff finished on Super. And what else have we got? Not a whole lot of item progression for InsidiousIdol, unfortunately. And Monkey, oh boy, does he need to be careful. He's going to reveal himself. Skeleton Walk on cooldown, and they're coming straight in. Where is the gem? Is it on the Nakes? Do they have it? They managed to get the jump. It is on the Nakes. And Monkey's going to go down. He does have the Aegis. In comes InsidiousIdol. This is looking like a reasonable fight. Yanmi BKB'd, however. And now Sock straight in the middle. Not able to do anything with it. Monkey in trouble. He's going to try and just make his escape. InsidiousIdol comes in. He goes out. And Zoro, this is the meanest Keeper of the Light. One more right click is going to bring down one. Coddle leading the charge. Yanmi comes in. Still chasing Z-Red, now in trouble. Stacks. And the slows from the trap. No escape. Double kill for Zoro. Can he make it 3? There's a buyback Monkey, but they still want this one. Looks like he's going to be able to make his way out again. Gameware find themselves back behind a very healthy tower. And InsidiousIdol just sitting off to the side. Down mid. This is potentially bad for InsidiousIdol. Oh, and Monkey comes in. He gets mana leaked up. He is going to drop. It's a dominating streak for Kim. InsidiousIdol just sitting back wondering where it all went wrong and how he can defend this bottom tower without a Clinks, and without a Clinks who just bought back as well. If that was going to be a BKB from that Mythril Hammer, that is not going to be forthcoming for a very long time. 24 gold up at the moment. InsidiousIdol, they get the turnaround. Lincoln's keeping everybody, or keeping him alive. Night defensive disruption. Kim now forced to choose a different target, but Sox, he comes out, but not able to get really anything done there. The tower is still up. Super on the way out. And oh, InsidiousIdol walks back in. Rubik now in trouble, gets bashed. That is him dead. Meld going to make sure of that. And now another BKB up on TA. This fight has gone so long, the TA has managed to BKB again. A nice stun connect on Z-Red. He's going to go down Insidiously, dying a little bit to the sideblade spill. Monkey now rejoining the fight, but he's without his allies, even in the slightest. And InsidiousIdol, with a 21 kill deficit to try and make up, they're just going to tap out and go next. 1 apiece, and we are going to be going to Game 3. 15k experience lead, 10k gold lead at the end of the game for Gameware. So I have been Baseskip. This is the AMD Dota 2 Premier League, and this is Group A of the Regional Qualifier Finals. So we've still got 3 more groups after this one is resolved to work out who is advancing to the main event. And as far as advancing to the main event is concerned, it's all going to come down to Game 3 for both of these teams. I've been Baseskip. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you guys want to give any feedback to me as far as my casting is concerned, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a message in Twitch chat, or send me an email at baseskipdota@gmail.com, or send me a message anywhere that you see the name Baseskip, whatever is most convenient for you. I'd love to hear from you guys. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and hope to see you for the next game. Should be coming up shortly.